Hey, what's going on? This is Joe, day 8 of my 30-day What I Love About Jesus challenge. And I'm going to be talking today about some scriptures I read and then an Instagram video that I just saw. And I don't know who said it, but this is really good. I've been thinking about the hands of Jesus, and this is one of the things I love about him are his hands. And I just read this scripture the other day. It was in Matthew 14 where Jesus is walking across the water. And Peter sees him, and the disciples see him, and Peter says, "Hey, if that's you, Jesus, call me out, and I'll come walk on the water to you." And he says, "All right, come on." Peter gets out of the boat and actually starts walking on the water, and then he sees the waves around him, and he starts panicking and freaking out. I mean, how many of you can relate to that? I know I have. And then he starts to sink, and then it says right here, Jesus, when Peter saw the wind, he was afraid, and he began to sink, and he cried out, "Lord, save me." And immediately Jesus reached out his hand and caught him and said, "Oh, you of little faith, why did you doubt?" And then he pulled him back up, and they actually walked back on the water to the boat, which is an amazing thing. And then everybody said, all the people, the disciples in the boat started worshiping and said, "Lord, truly you are the Son of God." And then I was reading earlier on in Matthew chapter 8, Jesus was coming down from the mountainside, and large crowds were following him, and a man with leprosy came and knelt before him and said, "Lord, if you're willing, you can make me clean." And Jesus reached out his hand and touched the man and said, "I am willing, be clean." And immediately the man was cleansed from his leprosy. You got to think about it, like leprosy at that time, it was like a pariah. Like you could never even get close to somebody with leprosy, but Jesus reached out his hand and touched him. And so I heard this guy on Instagram today talking about how you take a football, and in his hands, and he had a football, and he said, "If you take this football, it's worth maybe $10 in my hands. But you put this football in Peyton Manning's hands, and it's or Russell Wilson or what's that guy, Tom Brady's hands. Like this football is worth millions and millions of dollars. You take this baseball, you put it in Jackie Robinson's hand, it's worth millions. In my hands, it's only worth a few bucks. You put this baseball in Nolan Ryan's hands, Jackie Robinson's hand, like that baseball is worth millions and millions of dollars. You take some bread and fishes and you put them in your hands, and you can eat lunch maybe from it, right? But you put it in Jesus's hands, and you could feed 5,000 people. You take some nails in your hands, and you could maybe build a birdhouse. But you put those nails in Jesus's hands, and he could forgive the sins of the entire world, right? So anytime that you're going through hard things, if you're going through struggles and worries and stress, put your things in Jesus's hands, and he can handle it. He can take care of it. It's nothing to him. There's also a verse in Revelation that says, he holds the stars in his hands. That's what I love about my Jesus. He is so big. He's so awesome. So love you guys. Listen, if you want more information about Jesus and who he is, go check out futureandhope.org. Futureandhope.org. See you guys later. Take care. Bye-bye.